everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will show you 8 easy yoga asanas or postures for beginner yogis. These postures are pretty safe and easy to do. Some of the poses will last up to a minute or so, and some are gonna last for less than a minute. Remember that as a beginner yogi, you have to release all expectations and breathe through each pose one breath at a time without worry of perfection. You cannot worry too much about being perfect in yoga as a beginner. I cannot emphasize that enough. It takes time to build a good yoga posture. Yoga is not only about postures but also about your state of mind and your ability to breathe through the difficult poses. To become advanced in yoga, you will have to practice patience. It took a while for me to advance from the before split picture to the after split picture. So be patient with yourself and we're all gonna get there. For today's video, you will need just 2 things, your mat and 2 blocks. Or if you do not have 2 blocks, you can use pillows. You can use 2 pillows as well. That's fine. So just a mat, 2 blocks, and a pillow. Get ready, get settled, let's begin. So for today, the first pose or the first asana pose we're gonna do is gonna be the easy pose. This pose is a seated pose with legs crossed. Make sure you lift your chest up and your spine to prevent rounding in your back. It is a good posture. This posture is good for back support. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed on your butt cheeks, both sides. Relax your shoulders and breathe. And the second pose for today is gonna be a seated twist. For this pose, you're gonna take your left hand and put it on your right knee. And then take your right hand and place it behind your back. Lift your chest up. Make sure your spine is not rounded. This seated twist is a very good pose that stimulates our digestive system and helps in detoxing our body. For a greater stretch, turn your head and look behind over your right shoulder. And just keep breathing, taking deep breaths in and out while you relax your shoulders. You can come out of this pose and do the same on the other side. So you're gonna take your right hand, put it on your left knee, take your left hand, put it behind your back or your hips. You can either look forward, or for a deeper stretch, you're gonna turn your head to the back and look towards the back wall. As I said, this posture is very good for our digestive system, and it stimulates our digestive system and it detoxes the body. Keep breathing, taking deep breaths. Breathe through the stretch. Our third pose is gonna be the butterfly pose. For this pose, you're gonna take your feet apart and place the sole of your feet together, as you can see here. And this butterfly pose is very good for tight hips and it relaxes the lower back. So make sure your chest is lifted up and your arms and shoulders are relaxed. And for this pose, for those that are beginners, if you feel pain around your hips, you can use the blocks just to give you a little buffer, just so it can prevent you from getting into a deeper stretch that can actually hurt you instead of helping you. So make sure you use the blocks or the pillows if you feel any pain. For me, I'm gonna take it out. And I'm gonna hold my feet together with both arms. And I'm just gonna flap the knees up and down, up and down, up and down. Just keep flapping your knees while you make sure to keep your spine upward. While you're doing that, keep taking in deep breaths, in and out. The knee flap helps, with further opening your hips for those who have extremely tight hips. For our next posture, we're gonna move into the knees and hands. We're gonna go on both hands and knees, and this pose is gonna be the cat and cow pose. This pose is very good for spinal mobility, and it also relieves tension. So for this posture, make sure your shoulders are right above your wrist, your hips are above your knees. To begin with this pose, you're gonna have to tuck in your belly, push your tailbone to the ceiling while you're taking a deep breath. So your inhale, you're gonna push your tailbone to the ceiling, tuck in your belly. That's known as the cow pose. And then when you exhale, you're gonna release and round your spine upward with your gaze facing downward. This is the cat pose. So inhale as you push your tailbone up to the ceiling, and exhale as you round your spine for a cat pose. Inhale, cow pose, push your tailbone to the ceiling, lift your head, breathe. Exhale, round your spine, gaze downward, cat pose. So we're gonna do a couple of this. I'm gonna let you continue. Just keep breathing while you do this. We are gonna move on to our next postures, and our next postures are gonna be standing postures. And the first pose we're gonna do for the standing series is gonna be a triangle pose. This pose is good for relieving back pain and helps with digestion as well. Stand with your feet slightly more than hip width apart. Turn your right leg parallel to the mat and slightly turn your left leg. Now turn your body to square it back to center and raise your hands to a straight line at shoulder level. And then now you're gonna turn to the right side. Slightly turn, bend your body, your upper body to the right side with your hand going towards your right knee and shin. For beginner yogis, your hand is probably gonna hit your shin. Make sure you lift your chest and you take in deep breaths. Keep breathing. For advanced yogis, your fingers are probably gonna touch the ground or your palms if you want to. Just keep breathing. Make sure your chest is opened and facing the front of the room. And now you can slowly get out of the pose. Go back to neutral with both feet. Your arms raised still, so straight line at shoulder level. Now you're gonna turn to the left foot, parallel to the mat, and slightly turn your right foot. Raise your arms, square your body back to center, lift your chest, and turn your upper body to your left side. Your hand, for beginners, your hand is probably gonna hit your knee or your left shin. For advanced yogis, you're gonna go down with your fingers to the mat, or you can even go down with your palm to touch the mat as well. Just keep breathing. Make sure your chest is open. Breathing through the stretches. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. Now we can safely get out of this pose. Our next pose is gonna be the mountain pose or a standing pose. The mountain pose is one of the most used poses in yoga practice because it's the easiest standing neutral position. It looks easy, but it's a posture that engages all the muscles of the body. Do not lean forward, do not lean backward. Stand straight. You can lift your toes up the ground and then plant them back firmly on the mat. Then once it's planted firmly, you can now lift your heels. You can wiggle a little bit. It's not that easy, but if you keep your eyes closed, then you can gaze on the wall and fixate on one object on the wall. Lift your heel up slowly and back down. Keep doing the movement. Lift up. And then now you can add some more challenge by raising your arms up. Raise your arm up. Keep breathing and feel the stretch all through your body. Keep breathing and stay focused. Slowly get out of the pose, and we're gonna move to our next posture, which is gonna be the chair pose. So for the chair pose, this pose engages your legs, upper back, lower back, hamstrings, glutes, and hips. It relieves stiffness in the shoulders, it relieves stiffness in the back, arms, and legs. So as you can see here, you're gonna bring yourself down as though you are about to sit on an imaginary chair. Push your tailbone down, lift your chest and arms up, and make sure your knees are not past your toes. So make sure you can still see your toes. Raise your hands up and just keep breathing as you gaze forward. This posture also engages your stomach muscles. Keep breathing. As we get out of this pose, we're gonna move to our 8th and last pose for the day. And this pose is known as the tree pose. The tree pose is a pose that seems very easy in yoga, but it's not that easy. This pose builds strength in the entire leg and helps with balance and focus. For this pose, you're going to bend your knee, your right knee, and lift your knee up to hip level. Turn it to the right side, and then place the sole of your feet down on your shin. For those that advance in yoga or intermediate level, you can take your hand, take your leg and place it in your inner thigh or above your knee. Keep your hand raised, gaze forward, and keep breathing. Keep breathing, taking deep breaths. Now you can place your hand on your hips for some more support. And as you get out of this pose, make sure you repeat the same process on the other side of your body. Well, thank you so much for following through till the end for this beginner yoga asana series part 1. Please make sure you subscribe and share, and also stay tuned for my next video. Thank you. Bye.